Have you ever felt like things just have to change? And have you ever known that everything you've been doing may not be giving you the right results? And it's time for you to do a total reset? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on Agents in the Trenches. So stop scrolling and come and join me. Hey, my friends, welcome to another episode of Agents in the Trenches, the place where I bring the real, raw realities of not only the real estate industry, but also the marketplace. And today we're going to be going a little bit deep on the month of August. August defines that moment when we are almost at the end of the year. We're about 4.5 months away. And I don't know about you, but I feel that 2027 is a big, big number. So let's go ahead and dive right in. When we launched the month of August, I told everyone it is the month of reset. It is the month of you auditing absolutely everything that you do, realizing the things that work, the things that don't work, and doing a total reset. Imagine your computer. Imagine your computer has been working nonstop for days and weeks and months and maybe even years, doing the same thing over and over. And it reaches a point where it just slows down. The programs that used to work efficiently no longer work efficiently. The things that it used to be able to do now are not the same. You just feel your computer needs a what? A hard reset. And that is exactly what I feel is happening in our marketplace. For the last 10 years, everyone has witnessed an easy market. We look at 2015 to 2020, everybody was able to sell real estate. When real estate is thriving, all the other businesses are thriving. When real estate is doing good, everybody's doing good because the economy is moving. Real estate moves the economy. You have heard me say that over and over, and it's a known fact. Real estate moves the economy, and not just here locally, but nationally and internationally. When real estate is doing good, every other business in the marketplace does good. Well, we all knew back in 2021 that the market was going to change. 2022, 2023. In 2024, we started to feel the real signs of this market is no longer the same, but we really didn't know how bad or how much it was going to change. Fast forward 2025, now everybody starts to panic. And you know the reason people start to panic? Because they have not prepared. Preparation is everything. And it doesn't matter what business you're in, you must prepare for not only the good days, but especially for the hard times. For lack of preparation, for lack of building the skills, even when things were still moving forward easily, now in 2026, there is a red ocean of chaos, of confusion. There is a red ocean of so many people not knowing what to do. And it's all because they are lacking the skills. Skills right now are absolutely everything. And I'm going to tell you what I know. After training and mentoring and coaching over 7,500 people, after doing this, I started training agents in 2014, just as I was coming out of the worst market crash, when I was starting to reinvent myself, rediscover myself, and say, okay, Lucy, what is this really going to look like? Where are you wanting to go? Because obviously, what I knew back then from 2005 to 2008, where everything was easy, everybody was making money, the market was thriving, that was not reality. That was a fantasy moment. So when the market crashed, I was, confronted with what you may be confronted right now. What am I going to do? Am I going to buckle down? Am I going to fold? Or am I going to push through? And luckily, I had the right support system. I had the right mentor. I had the perfect mentorship, and I pushed through. Well, now I see exactly what I was living back then. Thousands and thousands of real estate professionals, and now business owners, and now homeowners facing the real, raw reality of what am I going to do? What am I going to do in this market that is now not what I used to know it to be? It is no longer an easy market. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with someone, and they told me, do you see the amount of short sales that are now on the market? Are you realizing the amount of people that are now facing losing their property? And you know what? Unfortunately, that has to happen for people to reset. When we purchase properties that are beyond our budget or beyond our financial capabilities, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before things start to break down. But I want to focus on the real estate professionals because it all begins there. You know, I had a phone call from someone, and maybe I'm speaking with you, or maybe I'm speaking uh, to someone that you know. And this person reached out to me and said, you know, we have a person that sold us a property and they got everything done and it seems so easy, but they failed to tell us that our interest rate was not going to remain the same. And now my payments have almost tripled and we cannot afford to pay this home anymore. And, you know, unfortunately, because there are so many real estate professionals, or actually, let me just put it this way, because there are so many licensed agents that only focused on the sale. They did not build the knowledge base, they did not build the skill sets, they did not have the negotiation abilities. People were just selling houses to sell houses and make money. Agents were selling houses just to sell houses and make money. And now the consumer is stuck with a nightmare and they're facing losing their home because who's going to be able to pay almost three times more than you were paying? And that is some of the symptoms that we are now able to diagnose in the market. So you may be someone that decides, I'm going to stick it through, I'm going to push through. And my best recommendation to you is you must do a hard reset of everything. And I'm speaking to real estate agents first because you guys move the transactions. You guys are the ones that are out there in the trenches, working with the buyers, working with the sellers, making transactions happen. And it's time for a hard reset. I see it every single week. Agents with a bunch of listings, but they're not selling. You've got to go back to sit down with that seller. What good is it to have listings that are not selling? And I know everyone on social media seems like they are a gazillionaire, their life is perfect, they've got all these transactions happening. I mean, we are seeing numbers being just thrown out there like never before. We are seeing millions and billions and, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 digit levels of production. And at the end of the day, you know, I remember what my mentor said to me a long time ago. Lucy, if you make $1 million, how much do you want to keep? How much do you want to keep? How much would be the amount of money you would like to retain after making $1 million? Because listen, in a good market, anyone can make $1 million. Maybe even in a bad market, anyone can make $1 million. But the real question is, how much are you keeping? And I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of people making a lot of money and they are broke. They are broke, busted, and disgusted because it's not how much money you make. And here's the answer to his question. You make $1 million, how much do you want to keep? And the answer is as much as I can. So that means you've got to watch your finances. You've got to watch your monthly reports. You've got to watch your profit and loss. You've got to watch how much is coming in, how much is going out, and you've got to be a good steward, not just of, you know, the transaction, but how much money am I keeping? And unfortunately, because real estate is one of those businesses where it's so easy to get into, and yes, you can make a lot of money by accident, but that doesn't mean you have the business skill sets. And that is one of the things that I want to encourage you, and anyone that's going to hear this now or later, whether it's live or on replay, you've got to focus on being a good steward of your income and your expenses. Just because you are closing four, five, six transactions a month doesn't mean you need to keep just because you make $100,000 a month doesn't mean you have to go spend $150,000 a month because you think the next month you're going to do it all over again. That is one of the biggest hallucinations that I've seen real estate agents, live out over and over. But I want to focus on the skill set. Beyond the skill set of being a good steward of your income and your expenses, I want to focus on your negotiation skill sets, on your skill sets about having the tough conversations with the seller, on your skill sets about having the tough conversations with a buyer that does not respect you. Now, let me ask you a question, and I want you to put it in the chat. Give me a number one if you know what I'm talking about. There are so many real estate agents out there that just, react to a phone call, react to what the buyers want, react to what the sellers tell them without knowing how to have the tough conversations. I want to focus on the skill set of having the tough conversations. And that comes from a hardcore, skill set of being a great negotiator. Like, you've got to know how to do your numbers. I'll give you a perfect example. A lot of a lot of agents that have listings, they don't even know how to service the listing. And I can say this with expertise and authority because I am currently mentoring and guiding and coaching real estate agents. And I see it doesn't matter how long they've been in real estate. I see their level of skill sets is entry level. What do you mean you do not know how to service a listing? What do you mean you don't know what to do to keep that seller informed? What do you mean you are not able to have the hardcore, tough negotiation conversations? And so when you take all these things and you layer them one on top of the other, and you have, a lot of agents with the wrong skill sets. I mean, I speak to realtors that tell me they've gotten contracts from agents, and the agent is literally telling them, can you help me fill up the contract? I want to send you an offer. I'm like, where is your broker? Where is your leader? Where is the person that's supposed to be mentoring you, that you are reaching out to the listing agent and you're asking the listing agent to help you write the offer? So the good news is this. I've got some good news. The good news is you still have time. The good news is, you don't have to throw in the towel. The good news is there's still hope. The good news is there's still a lot of transactions happening. The good news is there's still a lot of people out there that need to be served. However, you must do a total reset. And when I talk about doing a total reset, the number one thing that I see day in and day out real estate agents failing to do is execute. That's why every single Monday, I have one of the best, most powerful mentorship masterclasses for business people. Now, people ask me, but Lucy, why do you say business people if you're in real estate? Listen, real estate is just a vehicle. Real estate is just a vehicle. There's other people that have the vehicle of being a builder, the vehicle of being an insurance agent, the vehicle of, you know, being a mortgage loan originator. That's just a vehicle. That's what we do to make our daily bread. But I'm speaking about the real level that we need to understand, and that's business. Yesterday, here at the Business Growth Gallery, which, by the way, I'm at the gallery. Yes, we're going to be working on setting up our content corner, and I'll be doing my podcast from there. But I'm here at the gallery, and I've never had the opportunity of speaking to so many people like I have now, because I was never in a location where there is this huge amount of foot traffic. But I was speaking with someone yesterday, and they asked me exactly that question. They said, but you are coaching in business, you're mentoring in business, but you're in real estate. And I said, yes. But here's the biggest problem in real estate: agents don't realize when you get a real estate license, you are opening up a business. Now, opening up a business, anybody can open up a business. Like, what does it really take? It takes paying money, registering a name that you get to choose. If you're in real estate, you've got to use your own name, and you fill out some paperwork and you have a business. But that doesn't mean you're going to be successful. That does not mean that you're going to know how to grow your business, build your business, and scale your business. So Mondays at 10 a.m. here at the Business Growth Gallery, I have one of the most empowering, powerful, second to none mentorships masterclass. And we teach on MMA, and it's universal, because guys, at the end of the day, real estate is business. MMA, money making activity, is universal. Doesn't matter what vehicle. It's like gasoline. It's like gasoline. It doesn't matter what car you have, as long as your car runs on gasoline, right? Or fuel, whether it's diesel, gasoline, whatever fuels your vehicle, it's all gonna be the same. It's universal. It's going to give the same results. So we do mentorship on Mondays. And here's the good news. The good news is, if you don't have a mentor, if you are in an office where the broker is competing against you, if you are in an office where even the mentor that you were assigned to is not able to help you because they're out there trying to figure out how to survive, then show up on Mondays. Get around people that are doing exactly what I'm telling you. We are all doing a hard reset, because it's time to do a reset. Now, what does a reset do? Reset gives you the opportunity to go back and realign everything, see what's working, see what's not working, and see what you need to double down on. What do you need to double down on? And I'm going to tell you something that I've probably never said before. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But don't do what everybody else is doing. Find what works for you. Prospecting, cold calling, making those calls that, are not easy to make. Some people find a way to overcome that challenge. But if you're not one of them, right now, and I'm talking right now, so let me clarify, I'm not saying we don't need to make phone calls. I'm saying right now that you have only 4 months to close out the year, right? Financially or in production, you've got 4 months maximum to make money. Right now, focus on what you would define as, I love to do this. Like, I love doing this. This that I'm doing, I love doing it. But you're going to have to do it in massive amounts. Massive amounts. Here's the number one problem that you need to solve, that I'm solving, and that I'm helping people solve. You got to get visible. You must be visible. You must be loud. You must be omnipresent. You must become the go-to. People must know you for what you do and how you do it and who you do it for. Like, if someone is thinking about that one thing that you do, you must be top of mind. And the only way you're going to do that is by getting visible. And right now, social media, my friends, is so chaotic. Social media is so congested. It's just pure noise, because everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody's saying, I got a key, I had a closing. Everybody's saying, I'm closing millions of dollars. Everybody's saying the same thing. So it makes everyone blend in. How are you standing out? How are you standing out? You must figure out a way to stand out. You must figure out a way to be the voice of the right message and become the best messenger. I'm going to say that again, because I don't think people really understand the power behind your voice, the power behind the right message, and being the number one messenger to your audience, to whoever comes across. Listen, the beauty of social media is you've got 24/7 opportunity for people to find you, for people to connect with you, for people to relate with you, for people to get to like you, to know you, and to trust you. And not everyone's going to like you, know you, and trust you. And that's okay. That's their business, not yours. But in this month of August that we are resetting, you know, you've got to define what is working and what is that one thing that if I go all in, hardcore, deeper than ever, I could get the loudest, I could become the most visible, I could become the most omnipresent. And what exactly would that, position me to be? That's what a reset is supposed to accomplish. A reset is supposed to accomplish you being able to identify how you are going to differentiate yourself. Because right now, even if you're just doing one video a day, or one story a day, or one reel a day, or every now and then, it's not enough. Trust me, I know. I know. I look at my insights. I dissect, my algorithms, and my team is telling me, Lucy, you've got to do the videos we told you. You've got to give us those videos that we told you, because when you come on like this and like that and like that and like this, that's what's getting the most engagement. And you know what? I've got to be responsible. Like I was telling people yesterday at the MMA Monday Masterclass, which now we are redefining and repackaging, because guys, it doesn't matter what business you're in, whether you're a realtor, mortgage, insurance, whether you're a builder, whether you are, a financial advisor, whatever it is that you do, you must repackage yourself constantly. Constantly. You've got to be more attractive. You've got to be more magnetizing. You've got to be more interesting, because people want to do business with people that they like, they know, and then eventually you're going to build trust. So this month is the month of reset. This is the month for you to reset. What's working, what's not, what must I do different? How do I get more visible? How do I become more omnipresent? How do I differentiate myself? What do I need to do to build my skill sets? Because that's the number one problem that I am seeing people in every business in the marketplace have. Their skill sets. You will always, fail to the level of your skill sets, because if you don't have the skill sets, you're not going to have the capacity. I mean, I hear people talking like, oh my God, I worked all weekend. Oh my God, I was nonstop. I'm so tired, because you don't have the capacity. Like you've got to realize, am I a 9 volt, 20 volt, 100 volt, or am I a 220? What, am I a transformer? Like am I the one that's giving energy to everybody else? And I think that's really what you need to become, is a transformer. Like you need to energize everybody else. You need to be the one that walks in the room, shifts the energy, totally changes the landscape. You need to walk in the room and you need to like light it up. Or are you one of those people that are sitting in the room next to the other person that's falling asleep? Think about it. That's why you don't need more information. You need implementation. You need execution. You need to execute. That's what we've been talking about: executing, implementing, developing your skills, you know, resetting. Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over, what are you going to end up? You're going to end up with the same results. So before I close out this episode of Agents in the Trenches, I really want to, encourage you to audit your whole year. I mean, if you are one of those people that is suffering because you haven't had any transactions this year, or you've had very little transactions this year, listen, let's just face it. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility for where you are. It's your level of performance for the results you have. It's your lack of skill sets that perhaps has held you back and you're stuck. And One thing I'm going to tell you not to do is don't sit around and wait. There's nothing to wait for. You've got to get up and you've got to get going. And I'll tell you right now, the best place for you to show up if you're in Southwest Florida is every Monday at the Business Growth Gallery. We have one of the most incredible personal development and business development master classes. It's literally a mentorship on steroids. And no, we don't talk about how to fill a contract. You need to go to a basic level, entry level training session for that. But again, you know, the best way for you to learn how to fill out a contract is get a buyer. When you have the buyer, now you are under pressure to know how to fill out the contract. Like you could go to 20 contract classes, you're never going to learn how to fill out the contract until you actually have to do it. You know, because information without implementation is useless. Or plan B, go get a contract to closing transaction coordinator. If you don't have one, reach out to me. I've got one of the best ones. That's what I give and share with all my, partners. Like, you're not in real estate to fill in the blanks. So either A, you go and hire a contract to closing, not a transaction coordinator, a contract to closing coordinator. Someone that's going to go from A to Z, save you time, and you've got to stay focused, working with your sellers, working with your buyers, building your skill sets. I mean, doing the things that you know you're supposed to do to make the real money. So, number two, if you are one of those people that, Monday mornings, oh, I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need mentorship. I don't need a master class. I can figure this out on my own. I'm watching YouTubes. By the way, YouTubes are not going to work for you because it's not the same. Now, I'm not saying they're not useful. They're not going to work at you know, this level of the game. At this point of the game, you've got to kick it into high gear. We are like in the last quarter. We're in the last quarter. And if you're one of the agents that is not where you want it to be, or if you're not winning at a high level, you don't have time to waste watching YouTube videos. You've got to get in the room, get around the right people, get in front of the right people. And let me tell you something. I see it all the time. And it just, I'm like, I wish I could help people, but you know what? No one's going to learn through other people's experiences. Like you just got to let some people fall flat on their face until they get rid of that ego. Like I used to be, right? That ego that's not your amigo, that ego that gets in the way. Like, I don't need nobody. I could do this by myself. I don't want nobody telling me what to do. I'm independent. I got into real estate because I wanted to be my own boss, because I want to work around my own schedule, because I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Well, let me ask you this question. How is that working out for you? Because I can tell you from 25 plus years of experience, that formula is a formula for disaster. There's no such thing. When you look at a real business, the first one in should be the boss, the last one out should be the boss or the leader or the manager. And don't even get me started on leadership in the marketplace, because we are like extinct. We are under, what do they call that? Threat of extinction. Our marketplace needs more leadership. There's a lot of good leaders, and there's a lot of wannabe leaders, and there's a lot of leaders that have the titles and have the credentials, but leadership is something else. And if everything you do is just about you, you have not even entered into understanding what leadership is. If everything is about you making the money, you having the titles, if you don't have, let me put it this way, if you don't have a mindset of real collaboration, and you're one of those people that only wants you to shine, that's not leadership. Leadership shares the spotlight. Leadership shares the credit. Leadership, is inclusive and, co-elevates. But if you're the only one that wants to be elevated, if you're the only one that wants the spotlight, if you're the only one that it's all about me, myself, and I, that's not leadership. And I'm telling you right now, leadership in our marketplace is in threat of extinction. So I'm shouting out those people out there that say, you know what, Lucy, I want to learn how to be a real collaborator. I want to learn how to really get into leadership. I want to learn how to really be one of those people that it's not all about me. Maybe you don't know how to do it. Maybe nobody's ever taught you. You'd be surprised how many people make so much money, but they still have not been taught how to be the kind of leader that really gets into deep, hardcore, selfless leadership. So this is your greatest opportunity. You could still close out the year in a powerful way if you are really open-minded, and if you are a big thinker. And that's my last question to you. Are you a big thinker? Are you a big thinker? And if you are, get in the room. Get in the room. Become the best student. Become a sponge once again. One thing about millionaires, multimillionaires, and billionaires, they get in the rooms and they sit there like an apprentice and they just soak it all in because they understand one thing. I'm not done growing. I'm not done learning. So until next time, my friends, I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Make it an awesome, awesome week. And I will see you on the next episode of Agents in the Trenches.
So gonna get together. Go pop it for me. Turn around and drop it for me. Drop it for me.
Maximizes your immune system, mobilizes your body's own repair crew, immune stem cells, gives you strength for the moments you can't afford to miss, activates your immune system in as little as 2 hours, supports over 90% of immune cell types, the broadest coverage available. This is next generation immune support featuring a super mushroom blend, IP6, zinc, vitamins C and D, and of course, 4 life transfer factor peptides from animal and now plant-based sources with phytofactor. This is Max.
Si piensas que una casa propia no puedes ni podrás comprar, lo que a ti te falta es conversar con Maggie Pérez. Maggie Pérez trabaja para ti, para ti. Voy a ser quien dibuje el mapa, tu nuevo hogar. Maggie Pérez trabaja para ti, para ti. Te llevaré por el camino que llega a la puerta de tu casa. Maggie Pérez trabaja para ti, para ti. Si tú piensas que no puedes, es porque no has hablado conmigo.
Yo soy Maggie Pérez y trabajo para ti.